When this situation happened a few years ago, happened in 2015, and the couple involved, they were sentenced in 2017. So I wanted to do a follow up, and because it's something that just weighed on my mind. So I wanted to do a follow up and see where they're at and just revisit it, just talk about some learnings. But in 2015, there was a Georgia couple. The lady's name was Kayla Ray Norton, and her partner or husband, his name was, I think it's Jose Joe Torres. And what they did is they joined a group of truckers, and they had the Confederate flags, whatever flags on the back of their trucks, and they would drive through neighborhoods and attempt to terrorize citizens. And on this particular day in 2015, they found a family who was having a party, I think in their front yard or something, for 8-year-olds. So there was about 5 trucks, maybe even more. And they drove through this neighborhood. They were calling this family all sorts of names, threatening them. These are grown men and women, threatening them. And at one point, I believe it was Joe Torres pulled out a shotgun out of his truck and pointed it at the party goers, pointed at the kids, the party goers. And as you can guess, just pure terror, these folks. So I'm gonna play the video of the phone call of one of the, I think it was one of the mothers, who is pretty upset.
Douglas County 911.
I'm sorry, we got some we over here on Chapel Hill Road.
You have
And
what
you got,
on Chapel Hill?
we're over here on Hamilton Street, and we were having a party, and these white guys pulled out with rebel flags and stuff, holding shotguns on us and stuff. Please send 911 to
Okay,
Hamilton Street.
We're at on Campbellton Street, ma'am.
What's your address? 9037 Hamilton Street. They pulling rifles out on us. They some with the whole, it's like 5 trucks of white guys with rebel flags.
What's your name, honey?
Please send somebody. Please send somebody before somebody gets shot.
Okay,
These white guys
listen.
got
Another
rifles.
dispatcher is sending somebody. What is your name?
Taisha Bryant.
Taisha Bryant?
So you can see in that situation, the caller's really excited. She's afraid. She's afraid for her life or their lives. And she wants the police to get there as soon as possible so that someone doesn't get hurt. So there's a real terror there. So this couple, Kayla Ray Norton and Jose Joe Torres, they were sentenced on the 17th. And while they were sentenced, they were very emotional. And I'll show that video too in just a few minutes. They were very emotional during the sentencing. They were very apologetic of their actions. They were saying it wasn't like them, and those kind of things. And then the mother of one of the kids was saying that, I forgive you, but you have to understand that what you did affected our family, affected my kids. Now I got to explain to them, I got to help them. And that's my whole thought process. And I'll show that in just a minute. My whole thought process is that, I say this before, but I'm wondering, what was the mindset of that couple to do what they did and to think it was okay? What story did they tell themselves? What story did they have to tell themselves that it was okay to drive their trucks with these flags through this neighborhood, threatening a family, threatening a party, threatening these little kids? And then finally, one of them pulling out a shotgun and banishing that as a threat. How is that okay? In their minds. We know legally it's not okay. Logically, it's not okay. But this couple, in that moment, what was it that gave them permission, that told them that it was okay to terrorize these folks, is what I'm thinking. And the reason why I bring it up is because when we do things, we have to think things through. We tell ourselves stories that it's okay to do certain behaviors and that we can do things, but it's just a story we tell ourselves. And we have to stop ourselves in the middle of these stories, and we have to think about, now, what am I doing here? Is this right? Is this even legal? What are the consequences for these actions, not only about myself, but on other people involved? What is the end game? When they went through that block with the trucks, the weapons, knives, I heard in one of the videos, I'll show that to you. What was the end game? My guess, in short-sightedness, the end game was to terrorize, to intimidate, to threaten. But for what? To do that, but for what? To establish some sort of dominance? Did that feed, the ego in some way, where just to know that they had the power to terrorize, that it fed the ego in some way? I know this, that when we get into group situations, that can be the most dangerous for ourselves and for others, because when you have the support of a group and we're all doing this as a group, it gives you the confidence to go forward and tell yourself this story, especially when everybody's telling themselves this story, to go forward and think it's the right thing to do, to feel some sort of comfort. You have 5, 6, 7 trucks and everybody's doing the same thing, threatening. There's comfort in that because you're not alone. We're all doing it. In the court, the lady, Kayla Ray Norton, said, "This is not us. This is not him. That wasn't me out there. We don't do that." And then partially that could be true, because when we're alone, we wouldn't even think about doing something like that. When we're alone, we wouldn't even think about, most of us, threatening people, getting in our truck alone with our weapons and threatening someone. We wouldn't even do that. But with the security of a group, probably with like-mindedness, they would. They would. At the end, during the sentencing, I think Kayla got 13 years, 6 years. She got 6 years in prison. And Jose Joe Torres got 13 years. Kayla's out now. She got out early. She spent 2 years, 33 months, whatever that is. And so she's been out since 2019. But so she's on probation. But Jose Joe Torres, he's still in prison. And I believe they have kids, which is extremely sad. Because as a parent, and you can see why that mother was so upset, because you terrorized kids. Those kids are scarred from that. They're damaged from that. They're hurt from that. They're going to need healing from that situation. And it goes back to, like, we don't think of, sometimes we do things, we just don't think of the consequences. What are the consequences to ourselves? Well, the consequence to yourselves is that you could go to jail for this. That's the consequences for yourself. You could get hurt. But then what are the consequences for the other people that are involved? Well, you got kids, you're terrorizing. Grown men adults are huge to kids. They're powerful, they're dangerous. They're in a powerful vehicle, a truck, high up. They're banishing powerful weapons. A shotgun is a very big, powerful weapon, let alone knives. You don't know what's going to go down. Nothing went down but the threat, but you really don't know what's going to go down when somebody shows a gun. It happens all the time. Or some sort of knife. You just don't know what goes down, let alone these kids. And then these kids see their parents, the mother, so upset. You know, our parents protect us. Kids know this. But when you're in a situation where your parent can't even protect you, what damage does that do to the kid? What damage does that do to the structure of the family? There's so much involved, so much damage that this act did. This, and I wonder, like, what was the thought process? What was the end game? Destruction? Was it destruction? Because that's what happened. And there was justice in this situation, but there was destruction. Let me show you this other video.
This is a birthday party. This is a child's birthday party.
You're gonna see the mother at the end. This is a short video.
Look at this shit.
We'll see y'all again. We'll see y'all again. We're gonna see y'all again. We're gonna see y'all again.
That's gotta be pretty intimidating.
All right. Bet you won't do shit. Bet you won't do shit, bitch. He the one had to go. He the one had to go.
Here's the mother. The next daughter. Somebody.
That is a threat. No, he needs to be off the card. Because if anything happens to him after this situation, you guys are going to be charged.
So one of the things I was getting to when I was talking about, you know, that these two, I think these two were parents that created this act, and one of the most important jobs that we have is being a parent, protecting our kids. And what I was getting to is that this Georgia couple that committed this act, this violent act, the consequences are that they're not going to be a family unit anymore, because both were sentenced to prison. Both were taken away. I mean, this is the choice that they made. You know, I understand you don't like somebody, I understand you don't like a decision or even a culture, if that's who you are, but decisions that we make after that thought process, the stories that we tell ourselves to get ourselves in these situations, there are going to be consequences sooner or later. And the consequences in this situation is the couple went to prison, the couple separated from their family, the couple have damaged those folks at the party, damaged kids. I wonder if this couple can even survive together now, especially if he's going to go to prison for 15 years and she's already out. I don't know. I'm gonna let you hear this last video. It's a heartfelt video. This shows the pain, unfortunately, that we bring on ourselves when we make these type of choices. It's horrible. This is the mother's heartfelt apology.
I do accept responsibility for what I've done. I know I was in the wrong. But I want you all to know that that is not me. That is not me.
Tears and apologies as a woman behind this racially charged confrontation at a child's birthday party learned she'll spend the next 13 years in prison.
So what it boils down to is that Kayla Ray Norton gave this heartfelt apology at her sentencing, just before her sentencing, to the family. And then the mother also communicated. The mother said she forgave her, but she did explain how it affected her kids, which has got to be true. And then she was sentenced. And then you could you could see, you know, her significant other, her husband, whoever he is highly upset as well, because he knows, probably because he knows what he did. Maybe he felt it was wrong. I don't know. He knows he's about to get sentenced. I wonder, you know, once you're out, like whenever he gets out, I don't know when it's going to be. I wonder how he'll feel about it, how he'll feel about his decision. I just wonder. But this lady, Kayla Ray Norton, she was released. She was there a couple years, 33 months, they said, and she was released. And in part, it could be because she was so, because you're supposed to do 6 years. Maybe she was so, regret, I don't know what the word is, you know, where you regret what you did. I mean, that speech was heartfelt. So I don't know. But, you know, that's all I have to say on it. It's just that, you know, regardless of how we feel about things, who we like and who we don't like, you know, we got to think about the consequence of our actions, you know, and there's going to be consequences banishing weapons, consequences threatening people, consequences trying to intimidate people. You know, we got to think about these stories that we tell ourselves to avoid these situations, you know, especially when you got a family or other people are going to get hurt. So that's the gist of it, everyone. Peace and hope.